Okay, let's talk about achieving mental health goals, specifically in this instance with agoraphobia, which is something which affects me. With agoraphobia, it's a condition, or I don't know, a syndrome, whatever you can call it, where you struggle to leave a safe space, typically a house, typically the home you live in, due to fear, overwhelming dread, basically the worry of leaving, for fear of having possibly a panic attack when you leave. And as anyone who's had a panic attack knows, the fear of having another panic attack is sometimes what drives you to change your behaviour patterns for the negative, which limits your life. And that's what happens with agoraphobia. So, as someone who suffers from that, I've suffered from it for about 7 or 8 years. I'm 29 now, just turned 29, and I have had problems with it for, like I say, about 7 years, though before that I had underlying issues, which I think just came to the surface when I was about that age, about 20, 22, 21, 22. So I've tried to deal with it lots of ways. I've tried all sorts of counselling, therapies, medications, and right now, the one that has been most successful, which has led to a dramatic life change, is exposure therapy. And the way I do it is through setting goals for myself. Small at first, leading to a large, much larger one. Now, the small ones started about a year ago when I was absolutely housebound. And it started as just walking through the village that I live in, trying to go to the corner shop, trying to walk to the village green, trying to make the most of the nice days that we have here, the nice surroundings, heading out. And at first, it was like lifting the heaviest weight in the gym. It was so difficult. Just getting to the front door, the dread, the pounding heart, the sweats, the feeling really hot. And then I kept trying it until I eventually managed to leave the house, leave the front door. I walked down the street. Got to a certain point, felt, no, I can't go any further, came back. That same day, walked a bit further, came back. And I started to become addicted to that feeling of getting liberty back, getting that control back. I was getting my life back and it felt amazing. The thought to a normal person of just walking down the street and it feeling amazing seems ridiculous. But to someone who has never had that, and so therefore doesn't take it for granted in the way a normal person absolutely should, it was an unbelievable experience. Unbelievably difficult and unbelievably rewarding. And that was where I started writing down small targets every day of what I wanted to do. And I knew it was going to be a grind, and I knew it was going to be difficult, but I knew that I was immediately addicted to that feeling, that rewarding feeling, that dopamine rush of achieving something that was incredibly tricky. I've added little things into my life as I've gone. As the exposure therapy has started to work, I've added little things into my life. I've exposed myself to more and more difficult things. Those small goals went from walking down the street to driving down the road, from driving down the road to driving to the shop, from driving to the shop and sitting in the car park to getting out and going into the shop, and then to doing some shopping. And all the while with a mobile phone in my hand, in case I need to call someone. If you have agoraphobia, I'm sure you understand. But it doesn't matter what the mental health condition is. Maybe it's that you struggle socially, and perhaps you would just go and stand outside a busy social environment like a cafe, and you just look at it. And you do that for a few days, maybe weeks, and eventually you go in. You have a look at the menu. Maybe you eventually sit down and order something. You've committed to it. That is how setting those small goals works. how achieving small targets works, and it soon becomes normal. Again, the analogy of lifting that heaviest weight in the gym. Now you can lift it fairly easily. Now you need to find another gym, a heavier weight. Until you can lift anything, do anything. So, the idea of setting small goals to get to the larger one has got to the point now where I've booked a trip around Europe. For me, that is my large goal. That is a bit of a nail in the coffin. That's something even people who don't have agoraphobia don't necessarily do because it's quite a challenge. Logistically, I'm going on a road trip for 20 days, ending in Poland, coming back, driving back up to the north of the UK, of England. Those small goals have led to me being able to put into practice a very large challenge and achieving a very large goal. I'm fairly confident I will. And until then, I must keep writing down these goals, these small targets, every single day. And that's how it works. You write it down, you tick it off, you achieve, and you feel more complete. That's how I've done it. That's how I'm going to continue to do it. And I might have to do it the rest of my life, which sounds limiting, or it sounds like a hassle. But it's nowhere near as much of a hassle as not being able to leave your own house for fear. That's not normal. That's not how humans were supposed to live. So, get writing it down. Start pushing yourself just a small amount until it becomes normal. Then push yourself a bit further until it becomes more normal. And that's how you do it. Good luck, and I hope it goes well for you. And if you try it, if you start trying these small little targets and goals, and tell me how it goes. So I'm really interested to see if it's just something that works for my sort of personality, or whether it's something that everyone would benefit from. Exposure therapy is quite well documented, and it's a very difficult way of achieving your goals. But for me, it's been the most rewarding. Good luck.